Hey friends, and welcome to Lucy Smiles Living Room podcast. I am your host, Diane Lozo, also known as Lucy Smiles. And I am so excited to have the pleasure today to have Shan Ives in the Lucy Smiles Living Room. I'm really excited for this heart-centered conversation. Welcome to the show, Shan.
Thank you, sister.
Yes. So I have just been very blessed to know you, Shan, for just several short months through the work that we are involved in. And before we get into this amazing conversation and the guiding light that Shan has and offers to the world, I would love to just share a little bit about you. So Shan Ives is a kingdom wellness leader and the founder of God Morning Sisters and Anointed Wellness Collective, which I am absolutely just lots of emotion comes to me from this invitation. And so after 38 years on her own journey through chronic illness, she has experienced a healing that was not only transformed in her body, but also awakened her mission. So now Shan guides women to rise in faith, to activate their inner light, and to also boldly step into the business that they have been praying for. And her work weaves healing, purpose, and Holy Spirit-led strategy into a powerful movement, which is helping women to align with God, to embody and create wellness businesses that serve from the soul. One of the biggest things that I love is that Shan believes that the real magic is in the obedience. And whenever our inner essence aligns with God's timing, everything flows. And so the inner essence, the alignment, the faith, everything, Shan, it's such a pleasure to know you and now to have you said yes to share your magic and your inner essence with my beautiful community that is so aligned with your vision and your mission to serve. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
And I have this beautiful autumn sky deck, which I love to utilize to open this beautiful portal of goodness and purpose. And so it's always quite beautiful when we have a beautiful message that allows us to sit in and center with through our conversation. So, wow. Oh my. So this one who just popped up is healing. Not shocked, Shan. Not shocked. And it is a beautiful woman overlooking a lotus flower. Very beautiful art from Autumn Sky. I'll put the notes I'll put the link in my show notes. So it says, healing, be gentle with yourself, balance your lower chakras. You are worthy of love. Practice self-care. You are enough. Woo! So I would love to start with this healing card. And Shan, welcome to just your essence being able to have a ripple effect as it already has been doing over the last so long. I would love to ask you, I mean, you had your own healing journey, and that is what led you to really be bold enough to voice your healing and to serve others. And even this morning, we'll get into the God Morning Sisters. I was listening to your message this morning. You are so consistent, so obedient in your ability to hold a space for those that are ready and willing and able to listen to you. So I would love to just whatever you would like to start with in terms of how this all came about. And later I'll share how I was foot in the sand with you in this invitation that really, as you know, from our private conversations has really shape-shifted decisions and obedience in my own life to self-love, self-heal, self-preserve. So I would love to hear whatever calls you to start.
I think the first word for me that's come up is from the card is love. Love. It starts with love. And it fulfills us. Love. We lead with love in everything that we do. And if we can really be mindful, consciously, subconsciously, that it is about love to others, love to ourselves, love for me, to God, Jesus and the Holy Spirit, it leads beautifully. My journey, I just love how our journeys, particularly as women, evolve. We take steps. And what I absolutely love is that when we're least expecting it, and you know this so powerfully,
Ugh.
things come into our lives that really moves us so much that we were not looking for something at the time. You know, I love business.
Mhm.
And as a woman, I've got, my eldest is 20, and I always had that urgency and conviction to stay at home and be the best mom I possibly could. But, and, you know, but I still had a business brain, you know, and not to give that up, but then not to work in a 9 to 5 and away from the home. I wanted to have everything.
Mhm.
And I did. I beautifully failed forward, probably flat on my face, for at least, I would say, minimum 10 years. Minimum. Because I always felt that anything, you know, you look for a job, it starts there, doesn't it? When you're looking for a job, it's an external thing. How can I fit into a job?
Mm.
Nobody teaches us that actually we have all the qualities and all the gifts within. We just need to look into ourselves. And people might go, oh my goodness me, but what do you mean? And it's like our journey, you know, we have a knowing. When I sit with women, and I powerfully do, you know, if we talk about a love language, and you've probably heard about the 5 love languages, mine is most definitely time. I
Mm.
couldn't think of anything more special to sit down with my girlfriend, my sister, and have some time. And when you have a conversation and you spend time, quality time, you understand, you can see visually, like literally what they're good at. And
Mhm.
it's so apparent. But for me, it's the enemy that tries to distract us and to make us believe that we're not good enough, that we're not good at this or that or the other, and we get distracted, and then we think we have to be perfect, and then we think we have to, it's this external, and it's all
Mm.
within. We are perfect the way we are. We are enough.
Mhm.
And when you have that peace and that calm and that love within, then you're open to things that come in your life. And I was at a stage of my life where I was 20 years of marriage, and it was the loneliest time that I can ever even express, almost acting like a single parent to my 2 boys, and always driven by business. So that kept me fulfilled. And I was externally looking, what's the right one? What's the right one? Failed, forward, flat on my face. Try again, try again, try again. And I'd read so many personal development books. I was hungry. What is it? What's my purpose? Where's my passion? Where am I going? What is this? I'm here for a reason. Ever had that? I'm here for a purpose.
Mhm.
So external, until I went read one book, and it said calm.
Mm.
And literally the book said quieten your mind. Well, I was just like, what? You for real? And it was almost like sit in a corner. Now, we've always said it was a naughty corner, so why would I sit in the corner? But literally sit
Yeah.
in a corner and go, just that for me was a breakthrough moment, because our brain had been so much full of chatter. Nobody
Mhm.
had ever said, quieten your mind, be in tune with who you are. So that was a breakthrough. The next breakthrough for me was then to go, another book said, what do you love? Draw a mountain, and what do you love? I mean,
Mhm.
I drew a heart because it was like, you
Yeah.
know, helped. But do you know what? I had huge difficulties writing down what I loved, because we are brought up to never really look at us.
Mhm.
And what I found was then, it said, then do the opposite. Write down what you don't like, and then you'll discover what you love. I'm like, oh my goodness me, that's just,
Yeah.
how easy is that? And of course, the flow. And then when women get into that flow, it's like, well, I love this and I love that and I love the other. Because you've listed, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this.
It's an easier list. The not like list is a lot easier to write.
Honestly. And then it's like, actually, I love this and I love that.
Yes.
And I think when you're in that environment, then I really got present to, for me, was saying no to people.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought in this very authoritarian, rightly or wrongly, that was my parents, right? They loved me, but it was very authority driven. And if I spoke up because I am kind of a loud, big energy, and it's like, I want to ask to go out. Can I ask to go out? I was forever being quietened down, don't laugh, be quiet, be silenced. And I think a lot of women have experienced that. So you kind of generational grow up with children are meant to be seen and not heard, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
So, but you will forever battle with that. And I think a lot of women have lost their voice through certain circumstances like that. And if then somebody asked me my opinion, I'd be like, oh, it kind of your personality gets knocked out of you. So then you become a people pleaser. To realize you can turn that down. Mm-hmm. So then you are in control. Mm-hmm. For me, that was just so powerful. It's those little things. And then the next lesson that I learned was to say no. Forever with your parents, you have to say yes, don't you? You can't say no. Mm-hmm. And I remember, it's really fun, and my dad's not with us anymore. I just love my dad. He used to come down to my house, right? Our house, our home. We had family, kids, and we had a family bathroom, mm-hmm. right? My mum and dad were in a guest room, family bathroom, brilliant. And then we had our bedroom and then an ensuite. Now, this will make sense in a minute, but because you kind of go, why are you telling me that? And I'm like, so my dad's got the free range of the bathroom, right? The family bathroom. It's all his. It's got a shower in there. It's got a bath in there, right? Every day he said, babe, is it all right if I use your shower? Because then he didn't have to step in. It was like an easier shower to access, right? But for me, it just got on my nerves. So I just was like, okay, I've been learning all of this. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? And my dad, and it was a big thing for me. Honestly, it was to say no to my dad. I'm an adult, I'm married, I'm a mummy. Yeah. And I'm literally preparing to say no to my dad. In he comes. Morning, sweetheart. Hey, Dad, how are you? All right, if I use the shower? I went, no. He went, okay, no problem. Turned around, walked out, went into the bathroom. Mm. And the relief for me. Mm-hmm. He wasn't upset. There wasn't a drama. There was no arguments. I don't know. My expectation was massive. Mm-hmm. And then I felt quite silly because I'm like, but really, does it matter if my dad uses the bathroom? It didn't matter. But I felt like he was invading my privacy at the time. Mm-hmm. But my goodness me, that one moment for me. Mm-hmm. Then it's practicing saying no. But then the people pleasing stopped. Because then people would say to me, Shan, would you like to come out tonight? And I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I'm like, no, it's okay. What do you mean it's okay? You really love it there. You really like it. You're going to have a great time. Do you not feel like going? And obviously, as people are, they're very enrolling because they want you to go. Yes. And I'm like, no, I'm really happy not to go. And it was a powerful no. Creating that space No, but you probably don't feel like it. But you know what it's like when you get there, you're just going to have the best time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really don't want to go. Thank you. You go and enjoy yourself. And when you start doing that head and neighbour, that constantly, I can't help it. I don't know what it is, but I have to have everything that I need in the house. I'm just one of those. I have a stacked cupboard. I cook, I bake, I have everything. So my neighbour knows I used to have everything. So she'd go, I can't be bothered to get in the car to go to the shop. I'll just ask Shan. And at the
Oh,
time, it was fine and it's easy and it's really nice. But then it's like, hang on, I have to go and get it. And when you start then realizing the knock on
mhm,
effect of people and where they need you,
mhm.
because you think you're serving them and helping them, but actually, you're not doing what you should do
Yeah.
yourself. And that for me was so, so powerful. And then to look at what I loved, then I discovered I loved traveling. I was an ex British Airways travel agent. And it was from looking at what I loved. What does Shan love? What's within? What excites me? What has been placed within me? I love traveling. Oh, I used to travel the world every single week for 10 years.
Wow.
Loved it. I'm one of those that I am one of those that like change. There's a lot of people that don't like change. I
Yeah.
love change. You know,
Mhm.
you're in a different crew, you're in a different environment. I can adapt to that. I love it. And I went, okay, I need to start a travel agency. Started a travel agent. It cost me thousands, but there was a chance that I could then win the money back. Did that, hit target, took off,
Wow.
and I eventually got to six-figure income
Wow.
from home, working around my kids, and it
Mm.
was brilliant
It
until
Tell us. I wanted to share, just to reiterate with what you had said too, because as you're sharing this, being able to give yourself permission to choose the things that you want to do, a couple of things that came to me while you were sharing that is many times, even if we do say no to something, and again, this is just in my level of awareness as a woman and having many, many women friends, is that we could even if we want to say no to something, we always have to validate it. We always feel this need to I'm not saying we all do, but I'll speak for myself. No, I have to do this instead, or no, I can't because it's but I learned something from a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, just recently. We were talking about the same thing. So clearly this is and it's something to talk about. Is she had said, she said, my husband just went to a wedding. It was a Saturday. She goes, and I told him I was not going to go. And he's like, you're not going to go to the wedding? She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But it's our friend's wedding. You're actually gonna and I'm gonna go by myself." And she said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, what are you going to say?" She goes, "I'm just gonna sit this one out." That was it. Not because I have to do laundry. I have a migraine. I don't feel good. I didn't sleep well. She goes, "No, I'm gonna sit it out." And that was it. And I thought, wow, how interesting is that? And so that's exactly what you are saying, Shan, is we don't have to we don't have to validate why. We just have to know why we don't.
yeah,
And as you're sharing about and I want as you continue this beautiful story of this business and the six figures and your empowerment, which then leads to your community, whenever we say yes to something, we're always saying no to something else. And so as you share this first part, I really want my audience to hear this, is that this next part would have been an accumulation of you saying no to that of which does not serve you. And then the byproduct of it is that the energy of you choosing you and what do I actually love? What do I actually want to do with my time? Then would lead into this story. So it takes an accumulation of saying no and stop being so polite about it so that we can follow the life of purpose, God led, driven, wonderful dedication to the business or whatever that looks like to us. So it's beautiful.
yeah. And also just on that, because what brings that up for me, and thank you for, like explain, sharing, a story that's so powerful. What brings up for me is that then you are authentic. There
Mhm.
are no little white lies. You know, we're brought up a lot, especially if you just what comes up for me now is like, it's Christmas and you've been given a present and your auntie Nellie has brought you this big fluffy jumper, and you really dislike it. But you've got to write a letter or say to Auntie Nellie that it was the best jumper in the whole entire world. Why?
Yeah. Be
Why?
polite. Be polite, right? Yeah.
But you don't have to lie.
Yeah.
Thank you for my gift. You don't have to say it that it was wonderful, that it was amazing, that it was my best fluffy jumper and I wear it every day. No.
Mm.
But it's speaking your truth, because what happens is that one little lie has an effect on we can say our energy, and it doesn't make us feel good. It's being, a very powerful way as well is to listen to somebody and you might go, I'll do that for you. And then you never do. But why say that? So watch your words, because each word that is spoken is so powerful, and that's so biblical as well.
I love that.
And you do have to watch your words, because where is your authenticity? Where is your truth? Where is you honoring you? You don't have to fill in a gap for anybody. You don't have to save anybody. You don't have to then go, I'll do that for you, and then avoid them.
Mm.
Because you never authentically knew that you would never do that, and it's come out. The nicest thing to do is to be fully aware of you and go, I don't need to say that, because we don't.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, because then you don't feel bad, then you're not playing avoidance, then you're not lying, then there's no little white lies. Your whole family can operate, let's shoot from the hip and let's have a conversation. And a conversation doesn't mean, please, confrontation. It doesn't. It's a healthy place to be able to be so in tune with yourself to go, hey, I think and feel this. Is that how you think and feel?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here? What do you think? Not to be offended. If your children are, and friends are just brilliant, aren't they? Because they will say to you what they want and what they don't want. My kids do anyway. And it's not to be offended.
Yes.
Don't be offended. My dad was not offended when I said no. I couldn't believe. And even today, I remember it like it was today.
Yeah.
Okay, babe, I'll go and use the bus. And I'm going, whoa. Wow. Thinking then I would have an argument. I was this 5-year-old. No, I was the adult that I'd grown into be. And I was talking to him like an adult, and he fully respected that. And he replied to me as an adult and went, okay, babe, no problem. So,
and the thing with that too, if you think about all of this, is when you're authentic, and I know this sounds like, well, of course, but no, but to really take a step back, when you're authentic and you're true to you and you're true to others, then everything outside of you that comes back to you is from truth. But if you're spending your time people pleasing, trying to be nice, losing your voice, not speaking up for yourself, trying to make people like you, then those things are not real back to you. So you're living in an illusion. I would rather have real, deep friendships with people because I am who I am in those relationships than have superficial relationships hoping that people like me that I don't really even get along with.
Yeah.
So then it's how empty and how lonely is that? You've got a room full of friends, but you're so lonely. I'd rather have a handful of beautiful, deep-rooted friendships that are true and they know who I am. And then you're building from that foundation. It's like a house, it's like a home. So it's just, it's unbelievable when we really take it exactly how you're sharing, Shan. I think this is such an important conversation for so many people.
And you just hit on another thing there. When you're fully aware of yourself, then you can identify why maybe a friendship doesn't work the way that you perhaps would want it, or know that it wouldn't work. You've just mentioned a depth. Now I'm really deep. And you're really deep. And there's a lot of and absolutely fine as well, superficial, just a surface level people in the world, right? And that's absolutely a-okay. But when we identify with that, you identify yourself of where you are, then you have such an understanding with that's cool. They're at that, they're there, and that's cool for me. We can still love. Everything is through love. So you can still love people for who they are and where they are. And there's no expectation of change, but to be honoring to you, knowing that time is then my love language, knowing that I have such depth that, that I just can't be superficial, right?
Yeah.
And people might not like that. And to have that be so powerful for you and to realize what your identity is beautifully, and to go, that's cool. No wonder we can't align, but with full love and full respect and full honor for that person, because within them, their gifts might be phenomenal, but just not at the level that you are at, or wherever you are, which is just beautiful.
Right. It's interesting because then something just came to me that in this level of awareness, as you're saying that, remember when we were kids, and this is what I remember, we were told, just get along. Just get along. And so we were forced to have to align, but and so we never knew this. And
Of
I've never thought about this until now, or they'd say, oh, those two just don't get along. Or like learn to get along. So as adults, we think there's something wrong with us when we are not getting along with another person, but really all it is just not aligned. So imagine if it's just we had this tape in our head, this pattern or this stigma or this judgment of ourselves that there must be something wrong with me or there's something wrong with them because we just don't get along. But we move from not getting along to not aligned, then no one's wrong. And then we're not forcing ourselves to try to befriend that person, or maybe if I just go out for dinner with them, I'll find a way to get along better. So then that you're saying yes to something that doesn't serve you. And now you're saying no to something that's waiting for you.
Amen.
So.
And that reminds me of, I went to, you go to a lovely event. I think it might have even been a Louise Hay, an event in London, right?
Yes.
So, something like that in London, and we're in this huge, like not huge, but it was really snug, sort of lovely seats, and it's a semicircle. And this music starts playing and everybody's getting up and I love to dance. You'll always see me anywhere. Event, I'm just dancing. I love, even if I'm on my own, it doesn't really matter. If I just feel it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because I am me, I'm in my own power. This is who I am. And it's not for people go, oh, you've got such a loud laugh. Is that for attention? Oh, I battled that one. It's like, no, this is who I am. I've been in restaurants before and they've literally come over and gone, please, can you keep it down? And I've gone through that whole emotion of being upset, then being angry, then wanting to go and have a word with them, and then actually then being quiet again, silenced me as my identity and personality. No, this is just who I am, and I respect that. And it's so funny, we're all in this semicircle and I'm dancing again. Everybody get up and come down if you want to. Now, I might not necessarily go down, but I would move around.
Yeah.
But this is really old stuff that's coming up today. It's incredible, but somebody might resonate this with it.
Absolutely.
Like a couple of ladies, right? And just like we're talking about people, it's like, for me, you need to get up and dance at that time. And I hadn't learned with people that I want them to experience this fun. And I'm always one to encourage. And you might be a little bit scared, but I always kind of want to say, I've got you. You're safe with me. I've got you. But just try it. Don't be scared. Please don't be scared. Come on. Don't have the fear. Shan, don't have the fear. Shan is here.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Next time I see you in person, I'm going to be hollering that one.
don't know what that's called. Oh, that
Oh,
probably made my cheeks like hurt. Anyway, I literally went to grab this girl and we was like, come on. And she just could not have held on to her seat so
oh,
tightly. And in her big little voice, it was like, no, thank you. Very affirm, very, and what I really got present to was like, that's okay. There's not everybody that wants to, again, just for all these personalities, but there was nothing wrong with her.
yeah,
Yes, I'm a massive encourager, huge. The other side was like, I'll get up and I'll come with you, right?
yes,
But what then for me was I was trying to help her because it was almost like I was distracted and thought I need to give her more time. And no, she was really clear.
yeah,
So it's always as well, if people have that voice, they use their voice, they're very clear of who they are, and it's accepting that and moving on, because
right.
then you'll miss other things. I don't why it's all this coming up today. It's
I
crazy,
love
isn't
it.
it?
I love it. And I was thinking too, because every time you're speaking, I'm getting all these like this amazing like epiphanies of your only job is to hold space and embody your essence. And then those that are ready will trickle in to the circle around you at their time. And so while you continue to create that guiding light of yours and that North Star, then that woman who maybe at one moment would say you would start to see her move closer to you simply by you embodying your best you, which is
Yeah.
I know also what you have been creating within this community with the God Morning Sisters and this beautiful collective that you've done. It's you being you in your authenticity. And I know that from listening to you and being a part of this since I met you back in March is your essence, whether people like whether you realize it or not, like you realize it, but is that it gives the permission for us to shine our light by your embodiment. And that's our job, not to fix people like we had talked about, not to save others, but as we save ourselves and we evolve ourselves, there's no fixing what's not broken. We're not broken. Is our evolving ourselves allows that permission for other women, say, because if we're talking about women, is they say, wow, I'm okay to to have a voice. Am I okay to dance? She seems to be fine. She's, and so that's such a beautiful thing for women to watch other women as we rise and then allow other women to rise through embodiment. So I would love for you to share how did this collective start? And if you want to share even with, your healing journey, I really want people to understand what you've created because a lot of people out there could be watching this. And I know many people that say, well, she could do that because XYZ. Or, of course, she has that because she's XYZ. But everyone starts from zero. Any business, collective, community starts with just an idea, but that idea has the energy of inspired action or desire or that burning obedience like you had mentioned. So I'd love for you to share that so people can see maybe there's something inside of them that's dormant and they need to have that ignition.
Yeah. Or permission.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. A lot of things that you just said, even in God Morning Sisters this morning, the most there was a depth to the message this morning.
Mhm.
And what I actually realized, and I'm going to share with God Morning in the morning, was, and you've just hit it, the nail on the head, which is so beautiful. So I need to share clearly because you've just hit it. I was there in the garden this morning. I'm prophetic. I'm absolutely and utterly God led. And I can share a little bit more about that if that comes up. But this morning, it was a full awareness of we have 80, 70, 80 ladies from all over the world in a WhatsApp group and been invited. And they pick up, I sit with the Bible, I sit with a message from God every day and share. And a year ago, it was on the 5th of July that God sat me down and said, listen, I want you to do a good morning, sisters. And for me, I like, oh no, I'm not qualified. I'm not, I haven't studied theology. I don't even know that much of scripture. I am a baby Christian. I'm a this, I'm a that. But I knew that I'd surrendered to him and trusted him so much that then Good Morning Sisters had started. And every day I'd get a message and then I'd relay the message, and sometimes it had the word, sometimes it doesn't have the word. But at the beginning, I was very like always, whatever the message is, I related it back to scripture just to double check, just to make 100% sure. And I still kind of do that now. There's always has to be an element of that because it has to be of the word and it has to come from the Bible, totally. However, so I've done this for a year. Not qualified. I've got sisters in this group that can eat me up and spit me out in scripture. Literally. They could wipe the floor with me scripturally if they wanted to. They are daughters of pastors and they're in their 60s now. Right? And we're talking South African women that have done scripture for day in, day out. Mm-hmm. And they're in the group. And what came up for me was this morning was just what you said. And I don't even know why you brought that up today. Was each sister that's in there, they are showing up, they are shining, and they are sharing boldly. Mm-hmm. Each one is growing so powerfully. And for the first time, I felt like this little old lady this morning. I felt, honestly, like I felt for the first time ever that they're doing so amazing and leaning in and listening and being guided by their identity and honestly being so powerful and so bold. And this morning message was what their journey and what they have been through. Mm-hmm. To share that is a gift to others. And when I heard that, it wasn't like my job is done, but I was literally seeing the sisters rising so powerfully above me, bigger, ripple effects, bolder, shining brighter, creating such a light for others, to awaken them from the darkness, to know that you are safe, they are safe, to walk towards the light. And I saw that for the first time today because, yes, it's been a year, but my goodness me, the changes, the shifts, the anointing, the abundance, the life is simple. The enemy makes it so we're distracted. The enemy makes it confusing. The enemy makes it, oh, you haven't got clarity on that. You can't do that. You're not good enough in that. And it brings up all the negatives. So if anybody comes from fear, lack, and anxiety, that is not of God. Mm-hmm. That is not who you are. Mm-hmm. And every part of your journey to this point is a gift that we are here to bring to other sisters and brothers and family members, because you have the light within to boldly share. And boldly does not mean loudly. Mm-hmm. In your way.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
you will make that difference because you've got that calling. You know you have that calling. But you don't have to look externally. Your journey that he has brought you through already, your spirit, You have it within you, and it's to share that. You know, God then took my travel business away, my horrendous marriage. Thank you, Jesus. And
Ah,
I'm suffering chronically for 38 years.
yeah.
I was completely on my knees and had to surrender, going, what's going to go on now? I've lost everything, the lot.
Mhm.
Now, when I looked at my travel business, the travel business for me was quite superficial. I loved it. It was great. Everybody wants to go on a holiday, but it's very superficial. It's escapism. Everybody needed me. The business was booming. It was fantastic. It took COVID to shut me down and
Mm,
look at the business and go, the other thing that was a part of me was always to have something to be able to give women as a business from wherever around the world for them to create a six-figure income from home or from their laptop. But I
mhm,
couldn't do that in that travel business. So isn't he clever? And the
mhm.
only thing that he knew, because he's created me anyway, was, oh, she's got 38 years of pain. If I heal that by something, anointed wellness collective, that's why that's born,
Mhm.
then she might listen. What do you think? But he's already created me anyway, so he knew that was going to happen. So it's perfect timing, right? So
Yeah,
here I am being healed with an anointed oil. That's just crazy.
yeah.
Of my chronic 38 years of a women's cycle called PMS that had me on my knees,
Mhm.
healed for me within 5 weeks, to then notice that then that had a business attached to it. So if I could heal, in the Bible, it states again and again and again about healthy living, and the word so powerfully has got heal in healthy.
Ah, go figure.
Go figure.
Oh,
And he wants every single person, his children, to be healed,
mhm,
right? And the world is not healthy.
mhm,
So we bring that in, having then now my faith filled, bold,
mhm.
huge man that's God led balls straight into my life. Not only he was a friend, but he showed me the anointed oil.
Yeah.
I get healed. I then end up with exactly the path that he has placed me on, to have
Mhm.
the boldest faith driven man that I could ever meet. He's so strong, so bold, and so beautiful, and has the most beautiful heart.
Oh.
And he's just crazy at Christmas. I've never known anybody who loves Christmas. He is skipping and dancing, going up and down the aisles with Christmas music. He's just
Oh my gosh.
incredible. He fills my heart.
Ah,
To then have an anointed product, to then build a business together. I always knew I would build a business with my husband,
wow.
and to then create a six-figure income, to know and show other women that however and wherever and whatever journey they have walked through, to hold that space. That's what I got today, and you've actually pinpointed it. To hold that space, that safe environment for women to step into so powerfully as they are. We are never perfect. There was only one perfect person in this world. And to come fully imperfectly perfect,
Mhm.
full of love and wanting to serve others, it's just a blessing every single day. He blows my brain away, my heart, and to know that we expand in pure love for others. Even
Mhm.
if, and I need to address this, even with the ones that look at us not so nice, that they might be negative towards us, we're always going to have people.
Mhm.
And I'm going to share this actually, because
Ooh.
this is needed to be shared. for the last couple of years, I get up and speak. Right, I always thought I'd be on stage, but then really scared of being on stage. And yeah, some people then launch you on stage. They might see this would be great, and they literally put you on stage, and then you're going, holy moly. So the first time that I did that was in front of 3,000 people in Oslo, and me and Dave, thankfully, were just like MCs of an event, which was great. So me and hubby, it was brilliant. I just loved it. We could be ourselves, our energy, and it was so lovely to, now from that, people, you can tell whether people like you and people don't, and that
Yep.
is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, we had an event in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one lady that crosses her arms when I get up. Honestly, crosses her arms.
Ooh.
Almost like she wants to get up and walk away.
Yep.
And I feel it. I feel uncomfortable about it. But isn't it good when we grow? We grow so powerfully that I prayed for her, knowing that she may not be in the space that she would like to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was upsetting her in some way, and
Yeah.
that was okay. And the most beautiful thing happened. I wanted to reach out. I knew there'd be a moment, and I surrendered that to God. And I said, God, I know if I'm meant to meet her, she avoided me. She wouldn't look at me. We went on a trip to Thailand. She was there, avoided me like blatantly. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, that much is huge. That's
Yeah.
like evident. And isn't it lovely? She was getting up to speak, and this was my moment. And she was at the back of the stage. She got mic'd up. Honestly, just God kind of just, and I went over and I went, good luck. You're going to absolutely smash this out of the park. What you have to say is valuable and important.
Wow.
Can't wait to hear what you say.
Oh.
And she didn't know what to say to me, but what I saw was she relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and the peace was within. And we had a joke about how many Viva have you taken, because we kind of know this, that we kind of take it, kind of relaxes us. And she said, I've taken 8. I went, oh no, you should take 10. We all take 10. And it was a real laugh. She had the smile, and I prayed, and I continued to pray for her. But isn't that lovely?
Mm-hmm.
When you have hostility, and it was quite a hostile environment,
Yeah.
but to have the blessing to go over to somebody and show love,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, even the most, as we would call the flesh, undeserving,
Mm-hmm.
that's so wrong.
Yes.
They need it the most.
Yeah.
They need it the most, without a question.
And we know that hurt people, right? So hurt people that are hurt people because they're hurting. And so the best thing we could do, I'm hoping that everyone wants to, is to be able to radiate love onto them and
Amen.
compassion, because everything is energy.
And everything.
So
And
that's
it was so lovely to walk away from that
yeah.
weekend knowing that God had orchestrated that, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just beautiful. And that, things like that need to be spoken about, because we are going to have that in
Yeah.
our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do in that situation? We might have that feeling of flight or fight, and it's like, no, bring love
Yeah.
right into that situation. They need it. And to be able to step boldly in and go, they need love more than we ever know.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's an action. We could learn about love is the best and make sure you're kind to others and have compassion, but we have to have the experiences for us to be able to step into the loving, being compassionate, honoring, holding space for people. So there's nothing wrong with, people say, if I had a bad experience, it's like, no, I had an experience. And in that experience, I was able to show up in my best authentic space. And we can say it was a, whether it was a challenging or not, but the challenge is just how willing are we, like we shared at the beginning of this, how willing are we to be authentic? And we're going to be given tests to, are you sure you want to be authentic? Are you willing? Here's another little test. You're like, oh man, but it feels really great because again, it's our self-image, our image of self, not in a
Yeah.
self, not in a ego way, but understanding the self-image and how do we hold our image of ourself is about integrity, is about loyalty, is about dedication, is about, as you mentioned, obedience. It is about our integrity and our alignment.
Yeah.
And we have it. I mean, unless you're under a rock, you're going to have conversation. And when you're building something like, you and I are both into building community and building circles of influence and leadership and mentorship, and we're learning and teaching. We're a student and a teacher every single day. We're not leaders of packs. We are in with others in an equal way. We're always going to have these abilities and opportunities to raise ourselves up and to remind ourselves our worth. And when times are tough and somebody else may not have best words for us, can we remind them of their worth in those times? Like you said, like how you showed up for you. And then because of that, you're able to show up for her. Who knows? We never know what people are going through. Who knows what struggles and wounds and traumas that brought her to a place of that type of reflection onto you that would change now that you were able to hold space for her. It's the ripple effect, how she's going to lead, grow, teach, learn because of that moment that you offered her. You'll never know. That's the other thing. We'll never know what our influence is going to have on other people.
No.
It's amazing. You are so lovely. I'm so grateful. And when you talk about God's timing, how you and I met, I won't get into my whole story but I had the similar journey of, going through this journey of my own. And then I was in this place of like, what am I doing with my life? Things left, like my alignment allowed me to say no to things that used to be aligned. And in that, I had this holding space. And in that, I had this invitation to go to an event in Vancouver. I didn't know why I was going, but my friend said, I feel like you're meant to be there. And I said, I am. I don't know why. And in that journey led to this, led to that, led to, the aligned community that you're a part of, led me to meeting you and spending your birthday with you in Thailand. And then your invitation, but it was alignment. It was all this little trickling. And for people to understand that you never get to see it all. It's all unfolding for your highest good, but you never really get to see the end result. And then now we're here together. And it was through one of your God Morning Sisters' beautiful messages. And I shared this with you behind the scenes. About 3 weeks after I met you, you invited me in. You invited me in, and it could have been a yes or no. And clearly you felt called. And we'd only known each other for a day or 5 hours. And that invitation, I didn't realize how important it was. I knew it was. I had honor for it right away. I said, wow, the gratitude, thank you. But I didn't know what that meant for me until 3 weeks later when I was sitting in my kitchen listening to your message, and that one message ignited my heart and allowed me as a woman to take inventory on where I was not in alignment in my own life, and shifted my whole world behind the scenes and allowed me to stand in my strength. And it was from Shan right here, who I clearly was meant in God's timing to connect with. And so this ripple effect here today, whoever's meant to hear your story, it will literally go from one person's story of listening to you to thousands upon thousands of people, directly and indirectly, forever changed because of that. So I
And
honor you.
I didn't know that. I mean, thank you for, we'll never know.
Mhm.
But you had you were adamant to let me know.
Yes.
Just so beautiful, but not just a little bit. You did go into, you wanted me to know. And I thank you for that. We don't ever do it for that. But I think it's lovely, isn't it? For, we come from such love and humbleness that, we don't seek that, which is lovely. Because I think maybe in a time in our life, we used to seek that Okay, isn't it beautiful to have known that we've shifted so much that we don't? But for me, it's about you, and for that, your journey to have been impacted and awakened, and for you to seriously look at where you were and, like you said, where exactly am I? Where am I going? Knowing that you've been fully prepared. Every single year you've had preparation. And we know through our whole journey, it's not easy. But you've stepped in and stepped in and stepped in. And thank you so much for having that conversation with me. Because the enemy will definitely try to say, I mean, there was only one time where then through the year of God Morning Sisters that I really was like, not sure if I should do this. And it was one time, only one, and it'll never happen again. But, something that, you shared, it definitely, resonated on such a beautiful way for you to see you. And then that's where I think it came even this morning.
Yeah.
To see the growth and the love and your expansion and the flow, because life's simple. It's so simple. And if we overcomplicate it, it's not then of ours. It doesn't serve you. And when you are here right now in your light, serving, expanding, embracing, and fully being aligned with you authentically, then we give, like you just literally said, out into the world, energetically rippling effect. And this is exactly why we are here.
I agree.
To show up, shine, and share boldly.
Yeah.
And you are just doing that so beautifully. And it feels good, doesn't it? We know when we're operating from that's within, and that's on purpose.
Yeah.
This is your calling. And it's just, and then guess what? Doors are starting to fly open and more miracles are happening. And that's exactly what is there for all of us. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shan, you're amazing. I'm so honored to know you. I'm honored to be a part of your community. And, we never know when that one message is going to hit our hearts. Like your morning message today, this morning, when I caught, I'm like, wow. And so I want people to understand that, whether it's Shan's message, if you want to, I would like to talk to you about how we can be a part of what you're doing, or if it's somebody else's message. I mean, everyone has an opportunity to find what resonates with them. I always say, take what works, leave the rest, right? We're good. If it's a leadership, if it's mentorship, if whatever that is, if it's friendship, there's always nuggets everywhere. And so one of the things that I resonate really is with your beautiful community. So Shan, I would love for you to be able to share if there's anywhere that we can find you, connect with you. I will absolutely have it in the show notes. If you're on social media, again, how can we connect with you? How can my beautiful audience connect with you?
Well, they can definitely connect with you.
You know where to find me. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere and nowhere.
I with Shan Ives on Facebook, definitely. I think that's the best way. And if anybody, honestly, if you will feel called, and if you feel called, it's a WhatsApp group. You don't have to get up early morning. It's I've already done the message, and then you're getting it 8 hours later, maybe. And then the girls in New Zealand are going, Shan, it's evening here. So it's
funny.
like,
It's funny because I find it is very therapeutic for me, but I usually listen to it while I'm making my bed.
Oh, I love that.
Because I feel like I'm making my bed. I'm showing up. I'm making my bed for the day, and I listen to your message. I have you on my dresser, and I have my coffee, and I make my bed, and I feel like I'm preparing for my day, and I'm creating a space of discipline and obedience. Isn't that? It's just a thing that I ended up doing because it just made sense. I'm like, I make my bed with Shan in the morning, and the message is so beautiful. So it's just such a part of a ritual for me, and I really appreciate that. So absolutely, we can have you find Shan Ives on Facebook. If you are interested in learning more about the WhatsApp group, feel free to email me, lucy@lucysmiles.com. I will personally make sure to weave you into this beautiful anointed collective that Shan Ives has created. And Shan, I do always ask a question at the end of my podcast, and I never know what
Oh,
it is. I never know what it is. And it's not usually the same because everyone's different. So I will ask the question as we close out today. For those in your community or haven't yet been privy or they're in their own communities, what would you request for people if there's something that you can give them, a word of wisdom or an action or something to help them along the way to drive them into that desire? What it would be something that you would love to just share, whether it's a sentence, a quote, a vision, an invitation to remind people that they are worthy, that they are here on purpose. Every single soul here wouldn't be here without purpose.
I have on my WhatsApp group actually, and what comes to mind is Proverbs. I'm so fully into women, and we are clothed in strength and dignity every single day, and we lead with grace. When we have that, women, we are clothed in the strength and dignity, and that gives us the poise and the grace to take our steps daily with love and integrity and boldness, each and every day, on purpose. You have got a calling. If you need a confirmation, this is your confirmation. You are called to serve, with such strength, such dignity, and by grace, and the grace of God for me. Amen.
And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shan.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to my amazing, amazing community for showing up and allowing me to show up in grace and in flow. This is such an honor for me to be able to create this platform, to be able to shine the light of those who are following the magic that ignites their inner essence. And many times that comes from the stumbling, the failing forward, the learning how to use our voice when maybe it's still shaky and maybe it just hasn't been used. And so to me, from my heart, and to you, my audience, and Shan as well too, never forget to follow the magic that ignites your inner essence and whatever that looks like. Don't compare yourself to other people's inner essence. It's not yours. That's why it's theirs. Inner essence is from within for a reason. And so until next time, thank you, Shan. Love to all of you. And I hope you enjoyed this beautiful message.
Huge love.